All right, today I'm going to talk about what is language, language proficiency, and propose a diagram that explains the parts of language and the system and structure by which each of the parts is ordered to one another. Just a general idea to keep in mind here. I'm thinking as I wrote out this presentation and as I speak about what a proficient language speaker is. That is, of course, the goal of any good English program, to turn someone who does not possess the language into a person who does possess the language. But what does it mean to be proficient, to possess the language? When can we call such a person successful? Is it when they pass a certain test? Is it when they can go to the grocery store and get through their normal day-to-day life without any hiccups? Is it when they can read a legal document? Or if they can appreciate Shakespeare? I think the answer to that question will differ depending on who you ask, but I do think there is a definite answer to that question. Nevertheless, let's get started. The parts of language. So let's start the journey in the middle, right? You might be stuck in a high school English class, or you might have a question proposed to you: what is syntax? Now you're forced to ask yourself, well, what is syntax? What are its parts? What is its goal? As far as its parts, that seems pretty clear. You know that syntax is a art or a science directed towards the construction of a clear, concise sentence. Well, what are the parts of a sentence? Words. So we look at the younger art, or the earlier art, morphology. How is morphology ordered to syntax? And then you go down the rabbit hole of how these different parts fit in with one another. All right, so let's take a first jab at this. Someone might think, well, these parts are ordered like stepping stones to one another. You have morphology, the study of the physical tongue, our physical capabilities of our mouths and our vocal cords, vowels, consonants, the historical development of these things. You have morphology, which focuses more on the construction of words, how different sounds can be put together to form different words. Syntax has as its object the clear, concise sentence. Semantics, beyond that, has as its consideration ideas of meaning, how meaning arises from multiple sentences, constructions, and how meaning can change or meaning can be implied in different sentences. And then pragmatics, which takes into consideration larger culturally relevant factors. Right, so not thinking about any part in particular, thinking about the order. Are these like stepping stones? Are these separate things unrelated to one another, where after you've taken a few steps this way, this no longer has any relevance? I don't think so. So I don't think they're distinct like this, and neither do I think that you completely abandon them altogether once you get to a goal. That's another question, whether this is related to this as a goal. When I'm thinking about how different sounds in different languages are different from one another, or how they're constructed, do I have pragmatics in mind as my goal, right? And that might be the difference whether I'm thinking about this as an art or as a science. Lots of things to think about. So this is a good beginning, but I don't think it's the whole story, how each of these parts is ordered to one another. I don't think it's as discrete blocks separated by space or time. Let me propose something more like this: matter and form. Consider a hammer. A hammer is made out of a substance, out of parts which are chosen for the intended goal of what it was made for. Right? The form of the hammer is not the matter is not the form, but they come together in a union to reach some desired end. Well, I propose that each of the parts of language, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics, are ordered to one another as matter is ordered to form. That is, each of the antecedent part is what is used in every successive art to reach some intended goal. So let me explain. In this rough example, phonology might be the substance of what art, right? If I use the study of words and how the human mouth can make particular sounds, different sounds, distinguishable sounds, and that's the art I'm working with. This is the material for this form. The form of this tool. And what is this tool? This is, of course, morphology. My knowledge of phonetics is the building blocks, is the matter, the form, the substantial parts of the tool that I call morphology that is used for some other end. Right? Morphology is ordered to the sentence, to the construction of words. So now, this whole tool, phonology and morphology, is ordered, right? This is the substance of an act. Maybe the act is striking the hammer. In this case, the striking of the nail by the hammer can be called syntax. Where now I'm ordering this word, right? Many words together to a different goal. Here my goal is the sentence, and I'm attending to the order of the words in the sentence with relation to this goal. So phonology is the part that is informed by morphology. Morphology takes phonology, turns it into a tool for attending to words. Both of these, morphology especially, are the substance that is used and directed towards another action. This syntax obviously is directed to the future art of semantics and semantics to pragmatics. So that's my rough hypothesis. I hope that was not too confusing, and I hope that's sufficient for my demonstration and diagram of the parts of speech. Thank you.